Today, we're going to be talking about perimeter of complex figures. So here we have Jake is putting a fence all the way around his vegetable garden to keep rabbits out. The picture shows Jake's vegetable garden. And the question asks us, how long does Jake's fence need to be? So whenever you have like fencing, and the question asks you to find like how long the fencing needs to be, that indicates that you're looking for the perimeter. And perimeter, remember, is just all the way around. All the way around the outer edge. Okay? And it looks like they gave us most of the lengths for the fencing, except this fencing at the bottom here. To find the perimeter, we need to add up the lengths of all of the. We need to add up the length of all of the fencing. So, well, how can we find the length of this fence? Well, we know that a part of it, this portion, must be 6 feet, right? Like, imagine if I broke this into like two rectangles here, right? If this side here is 6 feet, across from here must be 6 feet as well. Same thing with this rectangle on the right hand side here. If this part is 5 feet, then across must be 5 feet as well. Well, the first part is 6 feet, and the second part is 5 feet. If we add them together, the entire length of the bottom here must be 11 feet. Okay? And now for perimeter, we just add up the side of all of the lengths. So P for perimeter, so we have our 5 feet plus my 9 here, and this bottom length is 11 feet plus my 5 feet on the side plus my 6 feet, and last but not least, are 4. If you add them all up, you should get 40 feet. Here's another problem. Here we have Miss Carson's students plan to add a colorful border around her whiteboard. The border will cover the whiteboard's edges except for a 5-foot section. That section has a tray for markers and erasers. How long will the border be? So again, we're looking for the perimeter here. When they ask us for border, that signals to us it's a perimeter problem. So we're including everything in the blue except the 5 feet here, because that's where the whiteboard has a tray for markers and erasers. Well, I want first off, I want us to think about this side here. So we have almost all the sides here. We don't know this side on the right. Well, this is a rectangle, right? So if this side is 4 feet, this other side must be 4 feet as well. And then we have two lengths down here that we don't know how to find. Well, we can create an imaginary line here. Imagine I drew a line down here and a line down here. And these are rectangles in of themselves, right? And these rectangles are the same, have the same length and width. Well, if the whole length up here is 9 feet, and I take away 5 feet, I'm left with 4 feet. And then I have to divide that 4 feet evenly between these two sides here. This side over here and this side over here. So 4 feet dividing between the two lengths equally, that gives us 2 feet each. So each of these have 2 feet. Right? That makes sense. 2 feet plus your 5 feet plus your 2 feet, that adds up to your total 9 on the other side here. Okay? So P for perimeter, I'm going to start by adding my 9 feet, adding my 4 feet here, adding my 2 feet here, and another 2 feet, and my last 4 feet over here. And when you add them all up, you should get 21 feet. Here's another problem. Here we have Cherry Hills Airport has a security fence that goes all the way around the airport. Here is a picture of the airport. How long is the security fence? Again, whenever they're asking about fencing, that means we're looking for the perimeter. And remember, perimeter is the length, the added total length of all of the outer edge. And it looks like we're only missing this length at the bottom here. So how can we find that length in the bottom here? Well, let's imagine splitting this shape up into two shapes. Okay, so this first shape here, we have 3 kilometers here, right? So fun fact, this is a 3 by 3, so this is a square really. So this part is also 3 kilometers. Now this rectangle here, this portion here is 2 kilometers. That means across, this must be 2 kilometers as well. And if you add them all up, the first part being 3 kilometers and the second part being 2 kilometers, you'll get a total of 5 kilometers at the bottom. Now to add them all up, P equals perimeter. So let's start with 2 plus our 4 plus our 5 at the bottom plus our 3 plus another 3 plus our 1 here. And if you add them all up, you should get 18 kilometers.